Hello everybody, I am finally back from the job site, and today I have my Michigan versus TCU playoff preview. Michigan is 13-0 and they won the Big Ten championship game. TCU is 12-1 and they lost the Big 12 championship game. Key wins for Michigan: Penn State, who is 10-2, and Ohio State, who is 11-1. Key wins for TCU is Kansas State, 10-3. And their only loss, like I said, in the Big 12 championship game was to Kansas State as well. So they were 1-1 versus them. Key injuries for Michigan: Blake Corum. We've known it for a while now. I guess he did have his surgery and everything went well. So thoughts and good wishes go out to Blake Corum. For TCU, I could not find any key injuries. Looks like they are healthy as can be. I'm going to go over some team statistics and then some player statistics and give you a prediction on the game. On offense, Michigan's offense versus TCU's defense. Michigan's offense is scoring 40 points per game, which is 7th in the nation. And TCU is giving up 25 points per game on defense, which is 57th in the nation. So something's got to give there. Michigan is gaining 454 yards per game, 27th in the nation, and TCU is giving up 385 yards per game. That's 73rd in the nation. On the ground, Michigan is gaining 243 rushing yards per game, 6th in the nation, and TCU is giving up 150 rushing yards per game on the ground, 64th in the nation. Passing yards per game, Michigan 211, which is 94th, and TCU is giving up 237, which is 82nd. So all of them stats favor Michigan. I think they'll be able to move the ball against TCU's defense. Now let's talk about TCU's offense versus Michigan's defense. TCU also is scoring 40 points per game, just a percentage point higher than Michigan. They are 6th in the nation. And Michigan's defense is giving up 13, which is 5th. So big discrepancy there. 473 yards per game is what TCU gains, which is 16th in the nation. And Michigan gives up 277, 3rd in the nation. And TCU on the ground gets 200 rushing yards per game, 25th, and Michigan only gives up 85, which is 3rd. And in the air, TCU has 273 passing yards per game, 25th, so they're 25th in rushing, 25th in passing, balanced. And Michigan gives up 192 passing yards per game, and that is 22nd in the nation. And just a quick note, teams don't even really try to run the ball versus Michigan, which means there's a lot of pass attempts. So 192 is actually a pretty remarkable number, especially considering that they gave up a lot of yards to C.J. Stroud and that Ohio State offense through the air a couple of games ago in the game. Let's talk about some individual players now. On offense, quarterback, J.J. McCarthy is 65% on the season, 8.3 yards per completion, 20 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Running back, Donovan Edwards has 872 yards per game, 7.5 yards per attempt, which is unbelievable, 7.5 yards per attempt. And he has 7 touchdowns. C.J. Stokes will be backing him up, 273 yards, 5 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown. Tight ends, you have Luke Schoonmaker, 386 yards, 11.4 yards per reception, and 3 touchdowns. And Colston Loveland, who has come on late, only 12 receptions, I believe, so far, but 199 yards, 16.6 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. Ronnie Bell, a wide receiver, 754 yards, 13.5 per reception, and 3 touchdowns. Cornelius Johnson, 469 yards, 15.6 yards per reception, and 6 touchdowns. Roman Wilson, 272 yards, 13.6 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns. And out of the backfield, Donovan Edwards, the running back, has 192 receiving yards and at 11.3 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. For TCU, Max Duggan is also 65% completion percentage for the season. He has 9 yards per completion, 30 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He has been sacked 23 times, though. To J.J. McCarthy has only been sacked 9 times. So that goes to show you the difference in the offensive line. And that is one thing that I won't talk about a lot in this video, but Michigan's offensive line is better than the award-winning offensive line from last season. So I just want to give them a little bit of credit there. And, why does the Heisman have to go to a skill player position? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Why not an offensive lineman? Is it most valuable? Is it most outstanding player? I think the best player for a team is probably Olu Oluwatimi, but that will never happen. We will find out tonight who the Heisman winner actually is. My money is on Caleb Williams still. Max Duggan, though, is right there as well for the Heisman running. At running back for TCU, they have Condre Miller, 1,342 yards, 6.2 yards per carry, and 17 touchdowns. Amari DeMarcado, 472 yards, 5.2 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns. And at tight end, Jared Wiley, 225 yards, 10.7 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns. And Jaquarius Spivey, 126 yards, 12.6 yards per reception, and 1 touchdown. At wide receiver, Quentin Johnson leads the way with 903 yards, 17 yards per reception. They have a couple home run hitters. They have a lot of weapons on the outside. He is one of them. He has 5 touchdowns. Tay Barber, 593 yards, 17.4 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns. Darius Davis, 418 yards, 11.9 per reception, 5 touchdowns. And Savion Williams, 392 yards, 13.5 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns. Let's talk about the defenses real quick. Michigan's defense doesn't get the credit that it deserves. There's no really outstanding player. I'm not sure if Mike Morris will be in for this game. I'm guessing he probably will be. It's 3 weeks away. He should be all healed up by then. And Donovan Edwards, his hand should be close to 100% by then, you would think. But the secondary is legitimate. Like I said, teams pass the ball on them a lot, and they do what they're supposed to do. They bend. This defense bends, but it doesn't break. They give up yards between the 20s. But in the red zone, I think they're like 3rd in points scored in the red zone. So TCU better get them long strikes that Ohio State could not if they want to score some points. On TCU's side, the leading tackler is Johnny Hodges with 76 tackles. He also has 2 sacks. Jamoy Hodge has 70 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and an interception. And D. Winters has 65 tackles and 7.5 sacks. Them are all linebackers. So they apparently are good at playing the run. And can they cover, though? Can they cover tight ends? Can they cover the slot? We'll find out. D lineman Dylan Horton has 6 sacks, and D lineman Timon Mitchell has 3 sacks for TCU. Their safety Bud Clark has 35 tackles and 4 interceptions. Josh Newton has 31 tackles and 3 interceptions. He is a cornerback. And another cornerback, THT, it's a long name, I abbreviated it, 42 tackles and 3 interceptions. So They are capable of getting some takeaways. They get to the quarterback, but like previously mentioned, they give up some yards. So uh, it's a methodical, ground and pound, play keep away type of philosophy for Michigan, and it's a more modern, balanced, kind of maybe riskier game plan for TCU. And Michigan has been able to run the ball on everybody except for maybe like Illinois and Ohio State, who loaded the box. And in the Ohio State game, once they put 9 guys in the box, had one safety high, that's when J.J. McCarthy shined. So basically, you have to pick your poison. You need 9 guys to stop Michigan's running attack. Whoever is behind this Michigan offensive line is going to be able to run the ball. It's just that simple. They're that good. So you have to commit to stop the run, but that leaves your back end vulnerable. And J.J. McCarthy has proven that he can hit intermediate and long balls, and also both of these quarterbacks can scramble. And the last quarterback like that was for Michigan that they faced was Talia Tagovailoa, who at the time was healthy and had NFL wide receivers. So, and he couldn't really get outside. So we'll see if Max Duggan can run around like he has pretty much all season. TCU has been in a lot of close games. Michigan too in the first half, but the second half has been just domination for Michigan all season long. I see Michigan winning this game pretty comfortably. I'm thinking Michigan 41, TCU 24. TCU will be able to move the ball, like I said, and score some points. And maybe a trick play or a fourth down gets them some extra yardage, a first down that they need to get some points on the board. Big 12 defenses are not the greatest. So I think Michigan can they'll be able to run the ball, pass the ball, do pretty much what they want, keep TCU off balance defensively, and they'll be able to put up some points. So 41-24, Michigan is my prediction. And I have all the bowl games. Hopefully I will do a video this weekend, maybe tomorrow, predicting every bowl game, including the playoff, the national championship, and the eventual national champion. So there you guys have it. Remember to like the video, share, and subscribe if you have not. If you have, thank you, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, everybody, and remember to have a great day.